What's up, everybody? Win Daily Sports NBA Preview Show Tuesday's edition, Taco Tuesday's edition. I'm actually just gonna send this into the Discord chat now, just in case. So that's in there. If anyone's listening and you're looking for some friends to join you on the stream with us today, make sure windailysports.com/chat, 7 free days in our Discord and all of the content that you can absorb. So for today's NBA stream, gonna be riding solo a little bit until John's able to hop on with me in the next couple minutes here, but this one's really straightforward. So to me, I'm pretty dialed in at least 5 to 6 of the plays. I'll give you guys a core 4 here on the show, and then I'll be in the Discord chat a little bit later just to solidify that as the news comes in. We're 50 minutes to a lock here, so we're just waiting on some news out in Detroit, them being on the second half of a back-to-back, and especially with guys like Killian Hayes that have been pretty much out for 30 to 40 games this season. I'm waiting to see if they're on a minutes limit or not. I know that, the specific update about Killian Hayes came in that he's not going to be, but I don't really believe a situation like that. Guys like 18, 19 years old, they're not going to run him into the ground in a spot like this. So Saben Lee is somebody that, at the stone cold minimum 3K, he's definitely someone of interest to me. Again, I just don't believe them when they're saying that Killian Hayes is not going to have a minutes limit. There's no way that he plays 40 minutes in a spot like this. They're on a back-to-back. They've won all of 10 games all season long. There's no way that Killian Hayes at 5K is really going to be of interest to me tonight. I'll let everybody else go to Killian Hayes, especially with the amount of ownership that's likely going to be in my lineup, given that the contest that I play. And even then, all the guys that are pulling ownership right now are just in the best spots. So my lineup starts right at the top for Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kevin Durant. Those two are by far the two locks of the slate for me. Probably going to be two of the highest owned slates, two of the highest owned players on the entire slate themselves, but there's no way that I'm not playing them. So we just saw these two do battle a couple days ago. Milwaukee came in with a 3-point win. That has nothing to really do with it. It's just this is the game that was by far the most competitive on the entire slate. Both these guys jockeying for position out there in the East, and kind of gives us a preview of what can be either a second round matchup or a Eastern Conference Finals preview, depending on how the seeding lands with Philadelphia there too. So I'm really liking the game environment of that one. It's going to be a ton of possessions out there, really fast paced, no defense on top of that. Milwaukee's defensive rating is far worse than what people thought it would be at the beginning of the season. And well, Brooklyn, we all know that they have been playing absolutely terrible defense, if you could even consider it defense at all, since shipping guys like Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, and everybody else out of town, right? So that's the price that you pay when you acquire a guy like James Harden. You lose a ton of guys on the outside that are able to, play these 3-and-D type of roles. And that's exactly where Brooklyn's vulnerable right now. They have no interior defense, and now you're going up against Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's second in the entire NBA in points in the paint per game, right? So sitting there, you saw what he did last game, 49 points, 8 rebounds, and that's a pretty weak game for Giannis on the glass. I would expect him to get into the 10 to 12 range tonight, if not more than that. So if you temper expectations on the points a little bit, I wouldn't expect anything less than 30 from Giannis tonight, but a 30 to 15 game is definitely in play. And the best thing about these two rotations here is that both these guys don't want to take their starting 5 off the court. So it plays hand in hand that when KD's going to be out there, Giannis is going to be out there. They're going to go back to back and just play one-on-one the entire game. That's something that I definitely want a piece of, especially with KD only at 9,300 on DraftKings. I don't know what it's going to take for them to raise this price, but hey, we'll just keep taking advantage. Outside of that, Steph Curry would be my third stud that I want tonight. There's no reinventing the wheel here. I said to play Steph Curry yesterday. He dropped 62 DK, and he's in the exact same matchup against the Pelicans here tonight. So it's not about chasing yesterday's game, not about doing anything like that. It's just that's what the analytics show, and this team has nothing has changed in the last 24 hours, right? So getting Steph Curry as your third stud tonight is definitely possible, especially with the amount of value that's available to us. Make sure you go and check out windailysports.com. We have our NBA proprietary projections out there right now, and there are quite a few guys in play right now in the sub 4K range. So if you want to go to the 3 stud route, those would be my 3: Giannis and KD, no matter what build or no matter what contest you're playing, either one of them. Those are my two my two lockstep guys that I'm locking in 100%, Giannis and KD. And then if you are going 3, it's going to be Steph. If you're a little worried about, the value that's going to be out there, especially all these 3K guys that I'll get to in a little bit, then you could come off Steph Curry and go to a guy like LaMelo Ball. I wrote up LaMelo Ball even before all these Charlotte players were out. And now that you have Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington, The entire roster pretty much outside of LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, and Malik Monk off the bench. You could go right to LaMelo Ball at 7,100, playing 28 and 30 minutes in his past 2 games. I was surprised he even came back this season. I thought he would come back later in the playoffs, if anything, but this is a spot where, you know what, LaMelo at 7,100 is going to be able to carry the offense, he's going to be able to score and dish the rock, just like he's been doing throughout his young NBA career. So at only 7,100, LaMelo is a great play on DK, and on FanDuel, he's a stone cold lock for me. So only 6,200 for those of you that are playing on FanDuel tonight. There's not a single lineup that I'm making without LaMelo Ball over on FanDuel. And on DraftKings, he does give you that salary relief. So if we play out that scenario where we're coming off Steph Curry and we're going to LaMelo Ball, well, now we have $3,000 to play with, right? So what exactly are we doing with that? Well, rather than going to the value that's in Charlotte with the Bismack Biyombo's and the Caleb Martins and the Saban Lees that I mentioned, all these guys are the stone cold minimum 3K. You have Ty Jerome out there in OKC. You have quite a few players that are in the projection model there at 3 to 3.5K that are available to you. What I would do with that $3,000 in salary relief from going from Curry to LaMelo Ball is that you would get some pieces in the Sacramento game. So we can't overlook that one either. With both Tyrese Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox out for Sacramento, not only is there a ton of usage to go around, but there is so much scoring and so many playmaking availabilities to every single one of these guys, right? So Delon Wright did not leave the court when Tyrese Halliburton went down in the second half of their last game. He actually played the entire last 16 minutes of the game. He played 16 minutes straight, so 4 minutes in the third to close out the quarter, and then he played the entire fourth quarter there. 16 minutes straight for Delon Wright. It kind of gives you a glimpse of what exactly he's going to be in for tonight alongside Buddy Hield in that backcourt. And then the number one guy coming off the bench now all of a sudden is Terence Davis, right? So I know Terence Davis game pretty well from his days in Toronto. I used to watch him a lot with the Raptors, obviously. Up here in Canada, they show Raptors games every single day. So seeing Terence Davis out there, he's a slasher. He's a guy that's going to be able to get to the hoop tonight, especially against OKC. He should be able to score with ease tonight. So at only 4K and 3.8 on FanDuel, he's certainly in my player pool as well. And the other guy that I really like tonight that I feel like might go overlooked, not overall on the slate, but just overlooked in this type of scenario, is Marvin Bagley. So with both De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton out, most people are going to flock to that backcourt, right? They're going to go to Buddy Hield, who's going to be a lock to take 20-plus shots tonight. Delon Wright, exactly like what I just explained. He didn't leave the court the last game when Tyrese Halliburton went down the second half, and now he's likely going to get the spot start. And then if people want to get different, they could go Terence Davis. But don't overlook Marvin Bagley here. So this is a Sacramento team now that has virtually nothing to play for. Hassan Whiteside's picking up a couple DNP coach decisions out there, and they're not really running guys that they don't really foresee in their future, right? So they're going to want to know exactly what they have from Marvin Bagley. It might actually be a showcase type of last 10 game stretch here for Marvin Bagley if they try and trade him in the offseason or at the NBA draft. But I absolutely want a piece of that. So OKC ranks dead last against opposing power forwards, giving over 50 fantasy points per game. And then him too with a long layoff, similarly to what happened to LaMelo Ball. He came back, played 21 or 22 minutes in his first game back. And then the last game saw all the way 34 minutes, dropped 23 and 10 for a nice quick double-double there. So going up against a very small Isaiah Roby, anybody that's going to be able to face up on Marvin Bagley, he's going to be able to score at will. So he's a guy that can post up fairly well, and he could play face up too. So he could beat you on the drive, he could beat you on the dribble. So I really do like his potential in a matchup like this. So if again, coming back to why I was bringing up these guys in the first place, if you're not comfortable pairing Curry with Giannis and Kevin Durant because you don't really trust these 3K value plays, that's where you can come off Curry, go to LaMelo Ball, or I'll even mention Kyle Lowry as well. You guys know I play primary ball handlers versus LA all the time. The only thing with Toronto is that with Fred VanVleet in the lineup tonight, you don't really know whether it's going to be a Fred game or a Kyle Lowry game, and I can't really afford that line mine. So I will go LaMelo Ball over Kyle Lowry tonight, but he's in the conversation as well. You end up saving 3K there. That's when you can get the Terence Davises, the Delon Wrights, the Marvin Bagleys, any one of these guys to be able to kind of solidify the floors of your lineup a little bit. So just to get to Jimmy's question here on FanDuel, I can play the 3 studs with Bagley and Lowry if I play Caleb Martin and Biyombo. No, it's not a mistake at all. So FanDuel has a lot of guys grossly mispriced, if I can put it in a nice way to kind of ease up on FanDuel a little bit. But they have a lot of guys that are the stone cold minimum just because they haven't been playing all that much. And the way that FanDuel's pricing algorithm works, I would imagine that it's not only just based on production, but how many people are in the field are actually playing a certain player. And when somebody's not being played, a lot of times it's because he's too expensive, right? So that's when they end up dropping his price. But seeing both Caleb Martin and Bismack Biyombo at the stone cold minimum, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, these guys put up, what, 10 to 12 points? Who cares? You have Giannis in your lineup. You have KD in your lineup. You have LaMelo in your lineup. And then on top of that, you even played Bagley and Kyle Lowry. Like, it's just you're sitting at 300 points with those 5 guys alone, let alone what Caleb Martin and Bismack Biyombo and any other shooting guard is going to do for you. So glide on DK. I know you play DK a lot. LaMelo, Caleb Martin, Gabe Deck, KD, Biyombo, Saban Lee, Giannis, Steph. Yeah, that's a great lineup. It's something that I made before too. I wouldn't change anything in that build. There's maybe 1 or 2 pivots if you want to interchange some value plays. I think you have $200 or $300 left in that lineup. So if you want to end up switching out a couple of guys, then just interchange a ton of value plays. And Caleb Martin is both shooting guard and small forward eligible, so that works out really well too. And I actually just saw now that Jimmy Butler is out, so that doesn't really change the complexion. Yeah, thanks, Toby. It doesn't really change the complexion of my builds. He wasn't really somebody that was going to be my player pool tonight regardless. But again, it does open up things a little bit on the Miami side. So late getting in tonight, what's the core? I'm going Giannis and KD. And I'll give you 2 value plays with Caleb Martin is 100% going to be in my lineup. So I'll put him as the 3rd. And then the 4th player for the core 4, I'll make it a kind of a duo situation. So you could go Curry with, another one of the 3K guys like Saban Lee, Ty Jerome, Gabe Deck. Who else did we talk about? All the guys, Bismack Biyombo, every single one of these guys. So you could pair one of them with Curry as your core 4/4.5 there. I won't give all 5, but I'll give it as an option to play the 2 of them together. Or on the flip side, you can go LaMelo Ball instead of Curry, and then that's when you can grab Marvin Bagley or Delon Wright. So Giannis with KD and Caleb Martin, 100% of my lineups. And then for the 4th, you're either going the Curry with a 3K punt value play, so Saban Lee, Biyombo, any one of those guys, or you're coming off Curry and going LaMelo Ball because you don't trust the 3K play. That's when you can go up to Delon Wright or Marvin Bagley, depending on if you need a forward or a guard. That's where I'm going tonight. Chef Curry, Kira Lewis. Can't play Kira Lewis. That's for sure. New Orleans is going to shorten up the bench tonight. He only saw the court in garbage time when Golden State was up by 20 yesterday, so can't play him. Stanley Johnson, I'm out. Can't play him. KD, Speedy Claxton, Giannis, Lowry, Boban, or Biyombo. So definitely Biyombo over Boban. I don't really trust Boban unless he's like number 1 projected in the entire model. So because he's not up there, I'm going Biyombo. And again, Busy is a guy that, you know what, is he going to score a ton tonight? Is he going to drop 15, 16, 20 points? No, absolutely not. It's going to take him a whole month to score 20 points. But what he will do is that he's going to crash the glass. He's going to be out there for at least the first 6 minutes. He's going to grab a block or 2 against a smaller Detroit team. He's going to be able to go up against Isaiah Stewart. And as much as I respect Isaiah Stewart's game, the only thing that I will say is that Bismack has been around the block and he's been there, done that. Whereas Isaiah Stewart, it's his first season in the league. So Bismack should be able to kind of have his way out there in the paint. So LaMelo Ball is going to need somebody to lob it up to now that his good buddy Miles Bridges is not in the lineup tonight. And that guy can very well be Bismack Biyombo. So he gets a couple dunks early on with thanks, John. With Lelo lobbing it up to him nice and easy, grab a couple of rebounds. At 3K, he's not going to hurt you. So I'll definitely go Busy over Boban. And then the other one that I was unsure of, Kira Lewis, I'm out. You got to be able to find a pivot there. And then instead of Stanley Johnson, just go Caleb Martin. He's number 1 in the model right now. So that he's a stone cold lock for me. Outside of that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty much locked in right now. It's Giannis, it's KD, Caleb Martin, 100% of the way, and that's for both sides tonight. And then again, your number 4 pick in that core 4, it's going to be a duo. It's going to be Curry with another one of the 3K guys, Biyombo, Saban Lee, Ty Jerome, Gabe Deck, any one of those guys. Or if you're worried about that extra 3K player where you're not really sure if either number one, that the 3K player doesn't pan out, or number two, that Steph doesn't hit his ceiling, well, then come off Steph, go to LaMelo Ball in a very small, thin Charlotte rotation, grab LaMelo Ball for $3,000 less, and then grab one of Marvin Bagley or Delon Wright instead of that 3K player. And the reason why I'm saying Delon Wright or Marvin Bagley, I like them both equally. I think Marvin Bagley has a higher upside. But again, with both Kevin Durant and Giannis tonight, filling up your forward spots or forward and a center spot. So if you need a guard, you could go Delon Wright. If you need a forward, you go Marvin Bagley. That's exactly where I'm starting tonight with those five guys, depending on if you're picking option number one or option number two. That's it for the Tuesday NBA preview show, guys. Happy Taco Tuesday. Enjoy it. I hope everyone's going to have some tacos tonight. If you're not going to do it for you, at least do it for me. Outside of that, WinDailySports.com/chat, 7 free days. Make sure you guys come and join. It's an absolute blast. Yes, the knowledge is there, but more importantly, we have a ton of fun all day. Guys are bouncing ideas off one another, and the gift game is really strong too. So WinDailySports.com/chat. Make sure you guys come and join. Sports betting promos all over the place. Promos to join the fantasy side of the site as well. The whole team is out there. And I'm out for tonight, but I will see you guys in Discord in the next 5 minutes. Thank you very much.